Fear the demon of wrath, Satan himself. His price is steep, and it always takes more than you are willing to give.
Wrath rages, anger oppresses, but jealousy corrodes the soul, and the crowd's demand can shatter obedience.
The wrath of Moses striking the rock. Numbers chapter 20 verses 10 to 12. Numbers 20 tells of Israel in the wilderness, thirsty, restless, grumbling against Moses and Aaron. God's command was clear: speak to the rock, and it will pour out water. But the cries of the people weighed heavy on Moses. Years of complaints, rebellion, and doubt pressed against his spirit. And in that moment, wrath consumed him. He lifted his staff and struck the rock twice, shouting, "Must we bring you water out of this rock?" Water flowed, but so did judgment. God said, "Because you did not trust me enough to honor me as holy, you will not bring this assembly into the promised land." Moses let anger take the place of obedience. Wrath clouded faith, and a single act of fury changed the destiny of a prophet.
The Bible does not record Moses openly repenting in that moment after striking the rock. Instead, here's what we see in Scripture.
God's judgment stands. In Numbers chapter 20 verse 12, God tells Moses and Aaron that because they did not trust him and honor his holiness before Israel, they will not lead the people into the promised land. That decree remains unshaken throughout the rest of Moses' life. Moses accepts God's will. Later, in Deuteronomy chapter 3 verses 23 to 27, Moses prays and pleads with God to let him cross over into Canaan. But God firmly tells him, "Enough. Speak to me no more about this matter." Instead, he lets Moses see the land from Mount Nebo before his death. Deut. 34, 1-4. God's mercy still covers him. Though disciplined, Moses is still God's beloved servant. In Deuteronomy chapter 34 verses 10 to 12, Scripture says there has never been a prophet like him, whom the Lord knew face to face. Even in wrath, God's mercy is evident. Moses dies under God's care, and God himself buries him. So, while Moses was judged for his wrath, his story ends not in rejection, but in God's strange mix of justice and mercy. He bore the consequence of his sin, but remained a chosen friend of God until his last breath.
Moses lost the promised land to wrath, but he was not the last. Up next, King Saul. His jealousy of David grew into wrath that consumed his reign. And in the end, God's judgment fell, not just on a king, but on a kingdom. Stay with us, as we uncover how wrath not only destroys men, but the legacy they were meant to leave.